so they brought in the pilot, and the pilot came off and gave him this platinum card and all this kind of stuff. So not so long ago, I was flying American, and the attendant came and asked me, she said, she told me, she said, the pilot would like to speak with you. And I said, wow, here's my moment. You know, 6 million miles, so maybe they're going to give me balloons and champagne and all that good stuff. So the pilot came back and gave me his card, and it was Captain Kanasik. It's Andy Kanasik's brother. And he said, well, we had never met, but he knew of me because of his dad, Carl Kanasik, and Andy Kanasik, and Karen, the daughter. So the whole family knew me, but he had never met me. So he came back and wanted to let me know. And he wanted to talk about the merger at that time with U.S. Air and American. Huh. So, and he was supporting the merger at the time, which I was also, so right got along. So, but I didn't get my, whatever, George Clooney got. All right, Maud, are we ready, or what are we doing?
Is everyone ready? Yes. Yep. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Ready. Are you ready to rumble? I have good news. I've just been informed that I passed all my tests. This is not my health test. This is my fingerprints and a police report that I now qualify to become a crossing guard. So I will be applying as soon as I retire at the end of December to go to my future endeavors and maybe becoming a crossing guard. As I fought for the safety of children in Congress, this is probably a good spot for me to continue to fight for the safety of children. Open for questions.
What's your most memorable moment?
What's that?
What's your most memorable moment?
Well, there's many. I mean, I've had great, I don't think I can think of one, but the first one that comes to mind was when I was taking the oath of office in the hall, and in the audience I had, well, my wife and my 2 daughters, and my mom and dad, and my nephew. And so, as the President mentioned the other day, that sometimes the status that you're given at birth, that sometimes this country gives you the ability to move up and do the things that you never thought would happen. And so that was a great moment, because my mom and dad were there to see me, as well as my family, my wife and daughter. So that was a great moment, but in winning the victory itself in the campaign, I had achieved a moment in history of Arizona. I became the first Mexican-American elected to Congress from Arizona, so that was a proud moment also. And so, you know, this 23 years in Congress had brought me a lot of memories that I'm very proud of and very grateful for. So, you know, it's very difficult to say that one was greater than the other, because I've had a number of them, and I'm very happy that I had the chance to experience it.
So why did you decide to step down?
Well, when I was doing the redistricting, and I thought it was a very good match in terms of how it worked out. I thought that I had an obligation to at least run one more term in the district that basically I had worked to, to set up, and so. But I knew that you know, at my age, 70, 71.
Which one is it?
71. I'll be 71. Well, I'll be 71 this year, but 70 was last year. That I knew that you know, I would start having to think of what I wanted to do. I spent 16 years as a county supervisor, and then 20 some odd years as a congressman. So it was time for me to say, you know what do you want to do next? And so I don't know, but I thought, you know, you better make up your mind and decide. I think that, so I had been thinking about it. The biggest concern I had was my staff, because I have staff who've been with me for many years, and I had staff who recently joined me, and so I always, within myself, I was having that inner discussion, what would be the effects in their lives, since they've been part of the team, and so finally I knew that I had to make a decision about this time, because in all fairness, people are going to have to decide in their own lives, people who are going to decide to run in the campaign, now that I'm retiring, give them enough time to develop their campaigns and do the petitions and raise the money, etc. So I thought that this was the time I had to basically make up my mind, and so I saw Jay Leno leave, and I said, Jay, if you can go after 20 years on the high note, hey, why not Pastor? And so basically, that was but it wasn't a sudden decision. It was something that I thought about for a while.
Pastor is a well-known name in your district. Do you hope your daughter Laura succeeds you?
Well, I hope, in terms of running for Congress?
For Congress.
Well, she just ran for city council, and she has a 4-year term. And she has that responsibility, and so my assumption today is that she will carry out her responsibility, and will finish her term as she should, as a councilwoman, and then after she finishes that term, then you never know what will be available.
Is there anybody you're going to endorse in this race to succeed you?
Well, the body's still warm. And I have a year to decide what I'm going to do, and I don't know who will end up in qualifying to run in terms of getting the signature to be on the ballot, and so that's yet to be seen. And so I'll just wait to see what happens. I've endorsed candidates in the past, so that's a possibility. But at this point, all I can tell you is I'm going to wait and see what happens. What's interesting is that many of my supporters are calling me and saying, we're not going to get involved with anybody till you give us, you tell us what's going to happen. I said, well, if that gives you cover, it's okay with me.
How long did it take until the potential people who want to replace you started calling you?
Nobody's called me. Not people who have an interest in the position. I have not received a call. But it's very interesting because and I don't think they would mind, I got an email from Chuck Coughlin saying, thank you for the years of service. Salvatiercio got my phone number from my daughter, and he gave me a call, and Raul Villalba gave me a call, and so Don Brandt, the president of Bank of America, which I said, so people have been calling me and just congratulating me, and so and it's interesting because I've had other supporters who basically I've known all my political life that they've also called and they've been surprised, but they thank me for the years of service.
You're getting a lot of praise for Republicans. I've heard in the past you've always been the one that Republican mayors or office holders would go to in Washington to get help on things like light rail because their Republican members, weren't interested in bringing money back home. Can you talk about that?
Sure.
How and where that played out and why?
Well, when I first started my political life, it was as a county supervisor, and there were 4 Republicans and 1 Democrat. And so I knew that if I was going to be successful as a county supervisor, that obviously I had to get along with all of them, regardless of the political party. And I basically went to my 4 Republican colleagues and I said, look, I will be an advocate for certain positions and you will not agree with me, but I promise you 2 things. That if I have a problem and it's personal, that I will do it in a private setting, and I will never attack you publicly. It goes beyond arguing an issue. And so I maintain that standard. And so my feeling is that once I got elected And once I was serving in the capacity that I was elected to, that then I had to work with the people that were my colleagues, because that was the only way that I was going to be able to get things done that I thought were important. And so if Mayor Smith from Mesa came to me and said, we'd like to have the light rail in Mesa, we said, why not? So I've had mayors from, well, the mayor from Tucson, the Republican mayor in Tucson wanted to do the cable car down there. So my feeling is that once I got elected and there was a need and I could help, and it was my job to do it.
Would you have stayed longer in Congress if the climate in Washington were different?
You know what, I'm not leaving because of the climate, and so I'll put it that way.
Not the weather.
Well, the weather, yeah, not the weather. But I have made friendships, and probably with some people that you would be surprised. I just got a call a couple of days ago from a congressman from Oklahoma, Ernest Ishton. Ernie was my chairman of one of the committees, and he and I politically were way apart. But he knew that I was willing to work, and we worked on the Mo Udall Foundation. And he called me and said that he's now working with Sri Lanka and wanted to meet a little part of his trip. And so for me, basically it was, I may not agree with you, but if there's a chance to work together, and I will reach out and do it. So the climate, obviously you see a lot of rancor and all that, but the reality is that there's a lot of work that's being done behind the scenes with people that want to get stuff done in getting 2014 budget bill passed just recently, having the fiscal cliff. I mean, you start working with people that you know you can work with, and you start working with them, and you know that you go forward, and you'll have a storm around you, but there's still ways of accomplishing things if you know who you can work with and you work with them.
Are you disappointed that you'll be leaving Congress, what it appears like, without getting comprehensive immigration reform accomplished?
The answer is yes, but I still have a slight hope. We still have, we'll have the November elections, and maybe that's a time when, if you look at what happens in the House and what happens in the Senate, that may be a time when Boehner may be willing to do something, and also Congressman Ryan. So I haven't given up completely, but my next hope will be that maybe it can be named up. We might be able to accomplish at least some things dealing with immigration reform. So I haven't given up completely yet.
And you talked